Drivers, start your engines!
Alrighty, welcome back. We do apologize for a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we have the grid set here. Kendall LeVron going to be qualifying on the pole. I do believe it might be his first pole this season. What a great qualifying effort there for him. John Mullins in second place. Chris Severe going to qualify in third. Jose Acosta in fourth place. Fifth place going to be Steven Piero. Abner Acosta going to be in sixth place. Seventh place going to be Chris Johnson with eighth place Don Avery. Ninth place going to be Ryan Strunk. And 10th place, rounding out our top 10 here, is Thomas O'Hara.
Yeah, that's going to put Frank Flores in 11th with Kenny Powell. Starting in 12th, Paul Olsen, 13th. Gary Adamson along in 14th. And Rob Melnick and Andrew Layton will round out this 16-car field.
Yeah, kind of interesting that it's literally the same amount of cars we had on Thursday. So could we see a very similar event? But seeing a completely different picture here. Saw John Mullins, I do believe, participated in that Thursday race. Let's see if he can get it together here tonight.
Yeah, Mullins was struggling a little bit there on Thursday, if my memory serves me correctly. But doesn't seem to be the problem for him here tonight, right?
Definitely does not appear to be an issue for sure in qualifying. We'll have to see. Of course, that's not the end-all, be-all, Big Al. You know how it works here at Texas. It seems like the long run is going to be where it's at. Some guys are going to be maybe playing a little bit safer and saving the tire. But you can also go too far with that, you know, saving too much.
Yeah, saving. That was Josh Schaffner's. That was his playbook there, I do believe, on Thursday. But yeah, you're right there. I think these guys are not going to have to be as conservative. Maybe at the first run of the stage, but I do believe drivers should definitely get out there and mix it up a bit here in this first stage, just to see how aggressive they could get. The track temps way different here tonight than they were on Thursday, so that's going to make a big difference as well. Just going to see how these guys adapt to it, man. But I think we should see some pretty fast cars.
Yeah, we definitely should for sure. Well, while we're waiting everybody to get rolling here, let's take a little brief step away and pay some attention to our sponsors. I know we kind of didn't get that opportunity, so we'll be right back.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
And we are back. Guys still sitting here on the grid, waiting on them to get this thing rolling as we tackle 167 laps here, 250 miles. Definitely a long race, but it's going to go by quickly for us up here in the booth for sure. Maybe not as much for those guys down there on the grid. And looks like we are rolling now.
Yeah, they're just going to have to figure it out. But this is definitely going to be one of those races where guys are going to have to be cognizant of what they're doing, where they're at on the racetrack. You got to be around at the end of this thing if you want to make it count.
Interesting new face out there, or not really a new face to me and Big Al, our producer usually here, or used to be our producer in the ISCA series, actually down there on the racetrack, Rob Melnick. Isn't that kind of neat? Glad to see him making his way, you know, kind of in a different role here. Going to be driving the race car. I can't wait to see what he brings to the table. I mean, I've never really watched him race before.
I don't think he's down there. I think he
oh, is he not?
Yeah, I think he started left.
Oh, no. So he must have just been maybe practicing. I was kind of getting curious.
Yeah, I do believe that was just a practice run.
Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing underway as we go green flag for the first time tonight. I love the serial paint scheme John Mullins has brought back. We've seen that one before. And here we go. Pace car dipping down pit road. Kendall LeVron getting us all set and going here as the green flag waves for the first time. Oh, Chris Rivera bump drafting Kendall. Look at that. He did not go fast enough in Chris Rivera's mind there. You can see, did you see that, Big Al?
Yeah, just giving a little bit of a love push there, that's all, because this is a track that is going to be heavily dependent on drafting. So, you know, sometimes drivers, whatever sets, they don't get a good launch, but you definitely got the push there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, heavy contact. Definitely did not hurt the back of that 28, but wow, gave him a huge run, and he's out to a substantial lead right now.
Just got to be
fantastic job.
You know, he's just got to be careful because he doesn't want to get too far of a lead out here because it's a lot harder to block when you got guys kind of coming up on you at a fast pace.
100%. Sorry, side by side here is second place. Actually goes single file. Look at that. John Mullins on the inside trying to take the lead away from the 28. Oh, almost could be some contact. It was really close between these two drivers. Racing hard for these positions, Big Al.
Yeah, absolutely. And further back in the pack there, coming right up on Chris Rivera now is the 11 of Don Avery. We noticed that Don Avery had tremendous speed in Thursday night's contest, but tonight he's back here solo without his tryout teammates. But it's going to be interesting because he does still have that same set, and here he is trying to make a run as he is up into the top 5 line.
And look at this. Last week's winner, Abner Acosta, up into the top 3, gets around Chris Rivera. Now he's going to be trying to chase down John Mullins. Abner Acosta has been shocking the ISCA world.
Yeah, it's just going to take me a little bit of time to get used to people just blowing by Chris Rivera. You know what I mean? That's something that we have not seen. So you're going to have to, like, when you said that, I had to kind of take a double take.
Like, wait a second, no. Side by side for the lead once again. You see, look at that. John Mullins in the 64 actually able to take it away this time. Also, Ryan Strunk side by side with the 11 of Don Avery.
Yeah, Ryan Strunk definitely showing tremendous pace here. But remember, though, Brian, this is early into the stage. And what we did see on Thursday, and I know I hate to keep referencing Thursday, but it is the same series as ISCA. But we definitely did see guys burn their equipment up trying to get that very, very big run there earlier on in the stage. So we're hoping that these guys kind of be cognizant of that and maybe take it a little bit easy.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, I mean, you kind of even said it on Thursday, if I remember correctly. You know, this is the stage to run it hard, to figure out what the limit of the car is and how the tires are wearing. So I think that's what some of these guys are doing. I think that just like we saw Keselowski do on Thursday, you know, experiment a little bit. As long as you don't wreck the car and wreck the field, it's not going to hurt you that bad. I mean, it's just going to hurt your tires. You might lose a lot of spots, but at least you'll know what that car is capable of.
Yeah, and Keselowski said himself, he had to make tremendous adjustments on that car just to get it to run the way he wanted to. You know, saying that he had to add so much wedge to that thing by the time, you know, plus. So, you know, a lot of drivers going to be probably having to do the same thing. But the difference always is on Saturday, you've had a lot more time to kind of run the track, kind of figure it out and get the setups adjusted. So hopefully everybody will be okay as the 77 Ryan Strunk now pushing up against that 62 Chris Rivera.
Yeah, big battling going on right now as Don Avery stuck up on the top side. Also, something to be, you know, of note, Kenny Powell right now in danger of going a lap down in this first stage. Who would have thought that would have ever happened?
Well, Powell did start from the pits, and I'm not sure what exactly happened. But yeah, that's probably a part of it. But, you know, still, he'll be okay. Worst case scenario at the end of this stage, he'll, you know, get the lucky dog.
Yeah, but even looking at his pace, very much off the pace, almost, I think, over a second slower than the rest of these drivers. I don't know if you can attribute all of that to the draft. I'm curious. And great job to Paul Olsen, though. I know on Thursday he was another one that was kind of in that struggle bus, but looks like he's doing a good job of keeping up with the pack right now. As we see John Mullins driving away, huge gap, over a second back here. As we see Jose Acosta thinking about looking underneath the 62 of Chris Rivera.
Yeah, Chris Rivera doing everything he can to hold a position. Looks like that he's just kind of comfortable. And I don't know if some of these guys are pushing maybe a little bit harder, but, you know, they're just going to have to figure it out, man. the 8 of Frank Flores is coming onto the scene there, and he is following up his teammate, Thomas O'Hara.
Yeah, Thomas O'Hara looking pretty good in that 117, holding 8th place right now. There's not a whole lot of fighting going on. A lot of guys are just playing, you know, kind of stay in line right now. And kind of interesting that no one's really taking many chances to see what their cars do, you know, to make moves and things of that nature. Just to see, you know, what kind of tools you'll have in your tool bag later in the race.
You know, I'm just kind of curious, though, what's really going on with Kenny, because Kenny Powell is definitely off the pace, like you said. He is still turning. He's the only one on the track right now that's turning just high 31s. Everybody else sub 31-second lap. So, yeah, I think you might be onto something. He is definitely not feeling himself here this evening.
Yeah, not showing a whole lot of pace. I know that he was dealing with some issues when I talked to him last night, and he was really working diligently to get those issues worked out. I'm curious if maybe those issues are still plaguing him.
Ooh, speaking of plaguing, man, the 42 of Jose Acosta there coming in hard there, giving a little nudge there to Chris Severa. Not sure if, how that's going to play out. It is exactly what you need there, just a little bit of a push there, because this is a draft-prone track. But, man, these guys are definitely letting it hang out here a little bit, man.
Oh, yeah, the battle is definitely going on right now. That 42 desperate to make up some spots. You know, a lot of guys fighting for those stage points, too. I think that's what's so important to these guys.
Yeah, Jose definitely just showing tremendous pace here, man. Hopefully he'll be able to get that 42 up into the top 5 here, as he is definitely dialing in on the back bumper to 77 of Strunk. Now, remember, Ryan Strunk did pass Chris Severa a little bit earlier, so I think maybe Strunk might be falling into that category. Maybe he got a little bit too, maybe he got a little bit too happy too early.
I mean, you know, we've seen Strunk kind of fall into that pit before. You know, he's one of those guys that runs the car real hard and the short run is really, really fast, but then all of a sudden just falls off a cliff. Yeah, I think that's what's going on here with him. Yeah, you know, it's just one thing. He's going to have to learn how to not do that, and you know, it's just definitely take time to kind of dial it back. I mean, it's easy for us to you know, kind of critique these guys on that kind of thing, but then again, I mean, it's hard to know how much to dial it back, though, Big Al.
In my head, I'm the greatest.
Heard that.
Yeah, my shrink said I'm seldom right, but never in doubt, and that's a true story, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, look at the 42. He is definitely given the 77 of Ron Strunk everything that he can handle, man. And right behind those guys, newcomer to the series in the 2, Steven Piera. He is definitely holding good here also. So as these guys now definitely have a little bit more wear on their tires, as we are 16 laps into this thing, almost halfway through the first stage. But I definitely feel that drivers are getting their hands full right about now.
Also, we got a pass for the lead getting ready to happen as Kenny Powell getting ready to go a lap down. You see Kendall Levron side by side with the 64 of John Mullins, and Powell not getting out of the way here. This is going to be a little bit of a scary situation. Something is going wrong with Powell.
That was ugly. Oh, and Acosta almost gets into Powell as he is coming around the outside, I'm
wondering what, something has got to be definitely wrong, either with the race car or his rig.
I think it's the spotter.
Could be.
I do believe Al Koslowski is spotting for him, and that's definitely probably going to have a lot to do with what ails him here tonight.
It's got to be it. It's got to be.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I think that might have something to do with it.
Here comes Abner Acosta on the inside. We saw Kendall Levron had almost gotten by the 64 of John Mullins, but Kenny kind of threw a wrench into that whole situation there, unfortunately. You know, just trying not to go a lap down. I get the thought process.
Chris, very, very loose. Sorry to cut you off, man. He is having to throttle that thing around as he hit the white line, and he was drifting through most of 3 and 4. So we're definitely going to have to watch him there.
Yeah, keeping an eye on him right now as he's having to hold off Ryan Strunk. Strunk smelled blood in the water there, and he's going to be trying to get that pass completed. Oh, getting really close. Contact again here between the 77 and the 62. Strunk is wanting to manhandle Severe right now.
Yeah, and Abner's going to buy the 64, John Mullins, and that's going to get him a little bit closer there to the leader, Kendall LeBron. Kendall doing everything that he has done. He's doing it right. He's been in the lead pretty much. Ooh, Severa gets into the back of John Mullins here. These guys the breaking points are so different on this track, Brian, that you're gonna see drivers, especially as you get late into the stages, you know, they're gonna be backing those corners up, and some guys aren't, so it's just gonna make it exciting for us.
Oh, yeah. And one thing I think we saw a lot on Thursday, too, was guys blocking each other. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot right now, too. And one thing about blocking someone, you know, it's an equation. You know, if one variable doesn't agree, it's not going to work. You know, it's going to end up in an accident.
Yes, Chris Severa makes his way around the 64, John Mullins. And, you know, the reason why I think these guys do, because, I mean, if you've got pace on the front and the back, oh, the 42 gets into the 77. Sorry about that, Al. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But, yeah, if you
That's hilarious. See, you waiting on yourself to start talking again, or what?
No, I'm not going to interrupt myself again. I'm just going to sit here until I get done talking.
The 42 now on the high side of John Mullins, trying to make that pass happen. Mullins falling off really hard in this long run, but he's had some really good short run. But definitely going to be need to make some adjustments to that car or something here.
And, you know, he's doing a lot better than he was on Thursday, so he definitely did find something out. But I think you're right, though. He's going to have to adjust his driving style if he wants to be faster longer here, because it's consistency. You know, you might want to go out there and run the fastest laps you can, but you got to be able to run a moderate lap for as long as you can, because that's when you're going to be fastest longer.
Kendall LeBron, though, right now your leader. Last time by 31.361. He's starting to drive away a little bit from Abner Acosta. Got to be something to do with that clean air. We heard about guys talking on Thursday about how important that was.
Well, the 48, Chris D. Johnson seems to be off the pace just a little bit here, as we are now 10 laps away from this stage being over. Now, at the rate the 48 is running, though, with that, I don't know if he still is going to be able to maintain that lead lap pace. I hope that he will, because that'll definitely make it a lot easier for one of those two to get the lucky dog. But Powell considerably off the pace, and now Mullins way off the pace as the 2 goes down low on him in the 117 of Thomas O'Hara coming in as well. So I think Mullins definitely drank his Kool-Aid way too fast, and now he's got a little bit of a brain freeze, Mike.
He definitely did. The 2 getting really loose off of turn number 2. That's going to give Thomas O'Hara a chance here. He's now underneath side by side. Also, Don Avery going to try to slide right by the 64.
Yeah, surprised that Avery's falling back as far as he is, though. He was running strong Thursday, just couldn't get it together.
And he's been running strong a lot of these recent weeks. I mean, we've seen him have a lot of bad luck, you know, not in recent memory, but a little bit further back. But now he's been really doing well. I mean, he's been staying out of trouble.
That is the name of the game, man. You just got to stay clean as you can. Clean and green, and that's what we're doing here through stage 1. Now, remember, when we were out there on Thursday, the caution came right at the end of the stage, because, guys, these cars get a lot sporty there once they've had quite a few laps on those tires. Yeah. So we're just waiting. Yeah, we're just waiting right now at any time, because we've seen drivers drifting around the track already, and I think that's just going to continue. But remember, this stage only 35 laps, Mike.
Here comes Thomas O'Hara. He is trying to work on that 77. Looks on the inside, but the 77 blocks that move. So sometimes, I mean, the way these guys are racing each other and blocking each other, it's almost like short track racing in a lot of ways, to where some guys are going to get frustrated and not want to deal with it anymore. But you're right, 35 laps in this stage, soon to be over.
You know, and it's a multi-group racetrack. A lot of drivers are going to be trying to hug around the bottom line. You know, if you can make that work, that is definitely going to be the preferred method. You just can't get too close to that white line. We've seen drivers on numerous occasions touch that white line and actually go for a ride. So.
The battle is starting to heat up for the lead, it does appear. Abner Acosta has caught up to the back of Kendall LeVron, now drives on the inside, going to try to take that spot away as we're soon to have 5 laps to go. And you talked about it earlier, Chris Johnson, soon to be going a lap down. He is now 27 seconds behind the leader. Something going on with that 48. As Abner going to be able to make that pass. Is he going to be able to get it to stick? Kendall's going to get a good run on the high side. I just know it. But it's just going to be, I think Abner seems like he's been more successful at saving the tire right now.
Yeah, especially coming into 3 and 4. I mean, you know, you got to set 3 and 4 up to get yourself situated for 1 and 2. And that's exactly what these guys are doing, you know. And so, way to go. Well, they're racing side by side there for the lead, and I think there was just a little bit of contact there. But Abner not actually able to get that done, having to fall back there because, you know, it's hard to make that run, especially when you're being pinched down there like that, right?
One thing we saw on Thursday, you know, with that final stage going green, Abner gets into the outside wall there. But one thing we saw on that, you know, final stage on Thursday was when it went green the whole way, Big Al, these guys had to do 50 laps on them tires. They're only having to do 35 in these stages. So, I mean, that's going to be, you know, a little bit of an unknown for a lot of these drivers. And we're seeing guys already struggling now. What are they going to look like when they have to go 50 laps?
Well, they're going to make some adjustments. And, you know, a lot of these guys do. It's different having a car set up for 35 laps than it is having it set up for 49. So a lot of these guys are having to make adjustments. But I think that, you know, if you built a long run car, then you kind of, you know, you just got to nurse it to get there because that's when you're going to make your money. You know, and then the short run, we know who those drivers are, so we'll be waiting to see if cautions do come, how that works out. Hopefully the 48, though, Brian, will be able to actually stay on the lead lap here as we are sitting here almost 2 to go here until this stage is over.
Yeah, we're definitely getting really, really close here. As a 77 loose off of 2.
And he's going to be trying to hold that down. Here comes Don Avery around the outside. But this is just those loose conditions that we talked about. 9 to 117 of Thomas O'Hara still trying to do everything he can. And look at how much these drivers are having to fight these cars in the turn. Isn't that freaking awesome?
Oh, yeah, very much is. I mean, this is not easy at all as we're close. They are inches off of each other in a lot of ways. And these guys are reaching the limit of these tires. So, you know, they're trying to get the, you know, like we said earlier, trying to get that data. And I think a lot of that, this is some very important data here.
Yeah, and the difference is a lot of these guys, once they get to that third stage, they're going to understand that it's a long stage. This stage is 35 laps. So, you know, you don't look at this as a marathon. A lot of guys are treating it like a sprint. But when you get down to this part of it, as we are 1 to go here for the leaders. Well, actually, I think we're coming up to the end of the stage right now. The caution should be coming out here momentarily.
And there it is, yellow flag.
Kendall LeVron. He's going to be that stage 1 winner. Well, that's going to put Abner Acosta in P2 with Christopher at 3. Jose Acosta's going to come in 4. I know their mom's proud. She's got 2 boys in the top 5, right? Brian Strunk, P5. Don Avery in 6. Thomas O'Hara, P7. Stephen Piero in 8. John Mullins, P9. And Gary Adamson rounds out those top 10 points per positions. With that, Brian, what do you think we step away, get a word from our sponsors? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Experience traditional Brazilian cuisine, served with the hospitality that Texas is famous for. Here at Texas de Brazil, you simply turn your card to green, and expert carvers serve you fine cuts of beef, lamb, pork, chicken, and Brazilian sausage. Turn your card to red when you want a break. Then repeat. Make reservations now at texasdebrazil.com.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We got Kendall Levron, our stage #1 winner. Lost some spots on pit road there, unfortunately, but had a heck of a performance out there, man. How's the car feeling?
Feels pretty great. I kind of had to make some adjustments to make it to where it's actually not too loose, but because we're running 70% fuel. But I stayed in the pits a little bit longer, 3 seconds longer. I had a little minor damage because hitting the outside wall when me and Abner was side by side coming out of turn 4. But it was pretty fun racing him side by side, able to pick up the stage win. Pretty excited with that. I just hoping to see what this car can do at the end.
Well, definitely seems like it's a fast, hot rod out there, man. I know you guys are going to be probably having the pace car lights go out here any moment. We appreciate you talking with us. Who can we give a little mini shout out to before we let you get back to it?
Shout out to all my family and friends watching. Kenny Copeland for building this awesome ass setup at Team Watson Racing Setups. Phenomenal car this week, man.
Definitely seems like it, man. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll let you get back into the zone. Good luck to you.
10-4, bud.
That was Kendall Levron, and I thought he said he was going to shout out to all his fans. I think it's Kendall Levron got a fan club watching.
He did say fans.
He said fans, and then he changed it to family. So I think that he was thinking, hey, I got some fans out there. I mean, his family are his fans, right? Yeah.
Your family is your fans, right?
Yeah.
Or are. Your family are your fans. Sorry, guys. My brain's in a different time zone. I hope I put him back in the right session. He's supposed to be G&G, right?
Yeah, I do believe you put him in the right place.
Whew. Shout out to Big Al getting something right here tonight.
Well, we should see the pace car lights going out anytime. I thought they were already out, but that's why I kind of scooted Kendall out so fast. But I guess we could have sat here and had a long chat there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Kendall Powell still slowly making around the backstretch. You're right. The 2-4 is definitely feeling his woes tonight. He is not doing well. His best lap is a 31.268, which is almost a full second off of the fastest lap on the racetrack. So,
yeah, you got to hope that after that stage that he was able to correct whatever was ailing him. I definitely hope so.
We'll be watching him and the 48 of Chris D. Johnson as well here. Just hopefully these guys will be able to keep up with the pack this time. Powell did start from the pit. Now the lights are off on the pace car. Time to double them up. We'll have Abner Acosta here. Will be leading the field this time for his first time here this evening as the leader. So it'll be interesting to see what type of a launch he gets from that Geico restart zone, Brian.
Yeah, and also how the clean air is going to affect that race car. We saw that he was kind of in the tracks of Kendall Levron for the majority of that stage. Curious if the clean air is going to help. And also you got Chris Severa up on the top here. What can he do?
Well, Severa's definitely been known to get a monster launch, and I think that's exactly what he's going to be doing with that Fanatec Ford. He's going to be trying to lean on that gas pedal as strong as he can, get a blazing start, and drag race Abner Acosta there into turn 1. Now, the cool thing for Abner is he's got his little brother right behind him, older brother, big brother. Here we go.
Yeah, that is awesome. As we exit the Geico restart zone, green flag is back out in the air, and the brothers doing a fantastic job. What a jump for the 42 and the 44.
Did you see the 44 take off at the holy cow? He's got a rocket booster on that thing.
He definitely pressed the NOS button. There was something about that restart. Look at here comes Ryan Strunk. Oh, Chris Severa trying to throw the block. Is Strunk going to let him? Oh, contact. Oh, Chris.
Severa high on the track. He does get into the back of the 42 and he goes, oh, and there he goes sliding through the infield. Yep,
oh,
that's not going to bring out. Oh, caution is out for the first time here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to definitely have to take a look back at that to see what happened. But kudos to Chris Severa for pedaling that Ford as fast as long as he did.
Yeah, he almost had it saved, but then I guess kind of just got turned there. Maybe some contact after the fact. Didn't really get to see that far into it. But let's watch Chris Severe here and see exactly what happened. You see how aggressive the 77 was being here? Not to say it was the 77's fault, but I will say that it probably did lead to the pressure cooker situation that we just saw here.
And Chris kind of tried to come down to block him. Then he hit that white line, and that kind of pushed him up into the back of Jose. At that point, he was just along for the ride. You know,
I want to look at it from Kendall LeVron. He barely got by him.
Yeah, I was hoping that Chris would have actually had the moxie to get that thing going again. But, yeah, I mean, kudos to him. He tried, though, right?
Yeah, he definitely had a fantastic job almost saving that machine. I want to watch Kendall LeVron seeing this happening. You could tell he definitely checks up at just the right time, and wow, look at that.
Yeah,
what a sight.
It's amazing he was actually able to get that car slowed down that much without actually downshifting, too, as well. So, I mean, sometimes these cars, man, it takes a bit to stop them. But wow, that was just amazing racing right there, man. And unfortunately, the 77 was strunk. He was really coming in there hard, and that caused Chris to kind of try to go low to block it. I mean, yeah, he just couldn't.
Nothing he could do there. He just kind of even stopped turning. He was just like, "There's no point. I'm not gonna save this."
Well, hopefully he won't have any significant damage or any damage at all. You know.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of contact in that situation. I mean, a little bit of contact between him and Jose Acosta and Ryan Strunk, but it was I'd say negligible.
If I was him, I would come in, pit, get tires, and then come back out to be your stage 2 winner.
I mean, that in a perfect world, yeah, that's what you do.
Oh, you got that extra set of tires. He just slid all the way around there for nothing. He's already lost a tremendous amount of track position. I mean, the call, I do believe, is to come on down here, man. Let's just go ahead and throw a set of Goodyears on this thing. Lights are off on the pace cars. Time to double them up again as we will be going back to work here. This time the brothers Acosta will be lined up side by side. Their mom has definitely got to be sitting there grinning whatever chair she's sitting in, and I hope she is having a lovely time watching this broadcast from the ISCA. And also at this time, I think our sponsors too, Texas de Brazil and also Farmers. So Brian, I mean, we got everything that we need here to have a awesome production here tonight, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys are putting on quite this show. I expect no less from these drivers out here. Chris Severe, of course, has gone to the rear of the field. So it's going to be interesting to probably keep an eye on that 62 as he drives back up.
I didn't recognize it. The 43, Paul Olsen, he is actually in the back. Now, Paul was definitely having a hard time as well on Thursday night, so hopefully he's actually able to fix what ailed him as well, so he'll actually be able to get a good run. But interesting to see how this restart's going to start, man, because, man, Abner he's got a rocket ship under that thing there.
And he always does. I mean, it seems like every time we've seen Abner so far, he has been a machine. As the green flag is out, and he has another terrific restart. Here, look at that. Jose Acosta trying to block the 77, not able to do it. The 77 muscles his way underneath, is going to make that pass for second place.
Yeah, these two right here would definitely, that's the best potential I think we got on the racetrack to see a caution, because you know how aggressive the 77 can be. Hopefully Abner will just, there he goes. He thinks better of it, just lets him go. You know, and that shows experience right there, Brian. Just let him go. You know what I mean? No need to chase him. Let him go out there. Let Strunk set the pace, you know, and we'll just follow him here for a couple laps. Because we saw that's what Abner did in the last sequence. But when he tried to get around Kendall LeVron, he actually made a little bit of contact with the wall, and I think that cost him a stage win.
Yeah, for sure. Some big racing going on here. Kenny Powell has gotten legs now. Up on the top side, battling with the aid of Frank Flores. Oh, Powell gets really loose on the exit here. Here comes Chris Severe up to the rear end. Now, this is important because you got to think, really, when it comes to the championship, Of course, anybody can win a championship, but the real two favorites so far this season have been the 24 and the 62. So this is a big battle to watch.
Yeah, Powell definitely just ran his fastest lap of the race, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself right now with a 30.663.
So he must have fixed his handling woes. Good to see that. Something was definitely wrong with that car. And you mentioned it about Abner letting Ryan Strunk drive away. I mean, look at Ryan. He's got over a second. I just don't think that he has the right mindset right now to where he should be thinking, I don't need to build this much of a lead. Like, if I'm doing this, I'm burning my equipment up. And Abner, coming from a fixed background, he runs fixed races, Big Al. Doesn't even really run open. And that's why I think he's so good at running the short or long run.
Hey, can I say something? See, we don't get paid to kind of second guess what they do. We just get paid to talk about what they're doing.
That's what I'm doing. I'm talking about what they're doing.
Sounds like you're trying to like figure out what he's doing, because I think what Strunk is doing is just what Strunk does. Strunk's just out, and we've seen this 100 times, right? It's like making Kool-Aid. What he's doing right now, he's running the water, but we know how it's going to end.
He's running the water. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he's doing. He's out there just letting it flow, and that's fine. But is he going to be able to withstand that, to maintain that? And that's the issue we see time in and time out.
Big battle.
Yeah, they're 3 wide right there almost.
Yeah, you see Kendall LeVron able to get underneath the 42, take that spot away. Now going to be going after Abner Acosta here. But, I mean, I'm just saying, what I was talking about is really my point was that Abner is from a fixed background, and I think that really teaches you how to save tire, and I think that's why he's doing so well.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he let Kendall run by, because right now we still got 19 laps to go in this stage. I mean, you got to run your own pace. You got to run your own race. You cannot let other people push you to push that car faster than you're already got it programmed to go. The only thing that's going to change that's going to be a caution, right?
Yeah, and we did see a caution in this stage too, which kind of maybe dials the pressure up a little bit more because these guys aren't having to go as long.
Yeah, the 42 just had a little bit of a blinking condition there, and that's going to kind of stack up to 64. Now he is on that high side, going to be trying to come around both the 117 and the 42. This is John Mullins here trying to figure out if he can't get back up into the top 5, maybe even try to make the top 3.
Yeah, we saw John Mullins qualified second place here this evening. Great, qualifying performance from him. Showed a lot of really good short run pace, but seems like he definitely does not have the long run pace. But wow, side by side, going 3 wide here. Some aggressive racing going on right now.
Yeah, everybody is just out there having themselves a big old time, Brian.
Yeah, I would say they're having fun. That's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's so much fun to race like this until you crash.
Well, thank God it doesn't hurt in our racing, though, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you actually felt that impact, you might not want to race so hard.
Yeah, that's the big difference. We're just doing this for fun, right? It doesn't. No scratches, no scars.
Have to get into the sim rig with a Hans device.
Yeah, the 42 and the 64 battling side by side, and right behind them, the 2 and the 11 are now side by side, which means I think we've got ourselves a little bit of a traffic. 77 continues to do what he is doing, as he now has a lead out to almost 2.36 seconds. Now, the biggest lead that we saw in this race, though, it was 3.3 seconds, and that went away real quick. So it's going to be interesting how long Abner takes to eat up the lead that the 77 does have.
And that's the interesting thing. It does not take long, and you would think it would take a lot longer, but it doesn't. But the battling is still on right now for this 4th place position. Jose Acosta trying desperately to get around that 64.
And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen on that note right there. Those two are going to find themselves slip-sliding further back because they are definitely doing a detriment to themselves by battling so hard here at this portion of the track. So now looks like the 42 is going to go ahead and get the better end of that deal, and that's awesome because, you know, these guys got to focus on the bigger picture, and that's going to be eventually trying to track down the 77 of Ryan Strunk, as his lead now is almost at 2 seconds, so that does mean it is waning, right?
Yeah, looking at his lap times, last time by 30.754 versus Abner Acosta 30.590, so almost 2/10 slower, and that really adds up very fast, and hopefully Strunk can hold on, because I mean he doesn't have much longer to go, about 12 laps next time by.
Yeah, he is definitely going to have to giddy up.
Definitely going after some stage points here tonight, that 77. I mean, and I think he does know better, you know, to burn the equipment up. I think he's just trying to go for a stage win. I think he's going to try to, you know, slow it down a little bit in that final stage. I don't know, last time by, not a bad lap. Actually matched the same lap time as Abner Acosta. As Abner still trying to hang on to second place. You see Kendall LeVron not far back here. Kendall definitely has shown a significant amount of pace here tonight. The 64 are getting ready to be under a lot of pressure here. As you see the 117 going to be making the pass on the inside. Of course, that is for fifth.
Yeah, I think it's go time. I mean, right now we're 15 laps until this thing is this stage is over, and I think these guys are trying to figure out how to stretch their legs. As Thomas O'Hara having a hard time there, as he's got his hands full having to pedal that 117 there through the turn. But right behind these guys, 2 by 2 they go. Don Avery stacked up beside the 2 car. That's going to be Steven Piero. Steven Piero making his debut here, man. And Brian, I think he's doing pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah, he very much is, for sure. I mean, being even a C-Class driver, our only C-Class driver in the field right now, is hanging on in 8th. I mean, not a bad night for that, too, so far here.
Yeah, but Chris Severa has already made his way back up to 9th, which means he is on the move. Ooh, look at that. Very close there. The 2 comes up to the outside of the 64. This is that part of the stage where those braking points start to differ. Some drivers are going to be starting to back up those turns a little bit.
A little bit of a touch there from the 62 as the 2 desperate to not get past, but I don't think he's got much choice in the matter as the 62 drives right around the inside. Now he's going to be focused on that 64. What a drive for Chris Severa, working his way now up, I do believe, into 8th place. Going to be working on 7th right now.
Yeah, and if the 2, when he gets a little bit more experience and turns that yellow badge say, into a green badge or a blue badge, then he'll understand that what just happened there. But, you know, until next time, we're just going to roll with it as Chris Severa continues his charge now all the way up to 7th place, Brian.
And looking at Ryan Strunk again here, he's got about a 1.2 second gap back to Abner Acosta. Last time by, he was about 2/10 slower than Abner, but I think he might have a chance of still getting this stage win, just considering in just a lap, I do believe we're going to be verging on 6 laps to go, and then after that, 5 laps to go.
Yeah, that's right. And then the one after that will be 4. I mean, I know that's a point to this. I'm just kidding, buddy.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, that was kind of logic. I mean...
I can't wait to watch this broadcast over again. Like, hey, watch, kids, we're going to go from 6 to 5 to 4. And they're going to be like, whoa.
1 lap.
But, man, look at what has happened in the Ryan Strunk's lead. It is slowly dwindling away. It's almost like watching the ice melt in the desert. I mean, we kind of knew we had something great there at the start, but there was just no way we were going to be able to hold on to it forever. It is slowly changing its form from a solid to a liquid.
Yeah, but one thing about it, I mean, 5 laps to go. I mean, it is possible that he can hold off Abner to get this stage win. And if he does, That'd be some magnificent driving from that 77.
And it will be, and I hope he can do that, because if he can't, I think it's just going to get real sporty there towards the end, man. It's 5 laps at this speedway. That's a lot of turns, right?
Looking back at Chris Severa again, he is now trying to run down Don Avery, who's sitting in 6th place. Jose Acosta starting to be under fire here from Thomas O'Hare in that 117. I'll tell you, I've been very impressed with Thomas O'Hare here tonight. He has looked really good, a top 5 car by far.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, though, through the first 2 stages, we're definitely seeing that. But this is what's going to happen. When we get ready to go to that next stage, Brian, that's where that long, brutal run's going to come in. And we saw what it did to John Mullins on Thursday. He actually had to short pit it. So I'm hoping that these guys have got their A game and they're ready to go, because in 7 laps, or 2 laps, in just 2 laps, we're going to be getting ready to go dancing for real. And now the lead of the leader is down to just under a half a second, Brian.
And you see it right now, side by side, the 2 and the 64 right now, fighting for that 8th place position. Kenny Powell right there waiting in the wings, and also Chris Johnson. Looks like Johnson has also gotten himself a little bit better here, maybe some adjustments. Oh, Johnson almost gets up in there into the 24. That was almost an accident there.
Man, look at what Abner's doing.
Here he comes, but is he out of time as the white flag for the stage is out? I think it's possible, but we've always said it so many times. And if it's the last lap of the stage, it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass, and I think that's even bigger on the last lap of the stage.
Well, way to go, Ryan Strunk, though. Even so, I mean, he just had a heck of a stage here regardless if he holds on to this thing. I hope he can hold on to it to win. I hope they don't wreck each other as they come around that last turn. But remember, it's not over when they cross the line. They're going to be waiting until Christy Johnson crosses the line.
Whoa.
And so,
Contact between the 2 leaders here.
But the sea is still not over for these guys. The stage isn't over. Maybe Abner doesn't know that, but the stage doesn't officially end until now.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there for Abner and Ryan Strunk. Ryan Strunk able to hold on and grab that stage win. Hard battling. That was the last lap of the race.
And I think that's why Abner backed off, because he realizes that it's not. Congratulations to Ryan Strunk on the stage. But Abner's been right there, I mean, in both stages there, nudging at the end. So there's no doubt in my mind we're definitely going to see him towards the end of this thing once the race title is on the line. But way to go to Ryan Strunk, because he wins stage 2. Abner, you take it.
Abracadabra wins 2nd place. No, Abner Acosta in 2nd place. Kendall Levron 3rd. 4th place, Jose Acosta. 5th place, Thomas O'Hara. 6th place, Don Avery. 7th, Chris Severa. 8th place, Stephen Priero. 9th place, John Mullins. And rounding out our top 10, what a recovery, Kenny Powell. And with that, we'll take a brief step away, and we'll be right back with your Stage 2 winner.
Experience traditional Brazilian cuisine, served with the hospitality that Texas is famous for. Here at Texas de Brazil, you simply turn your card to green, and expert carvers serve you fine cuts of beef, lamb, pork, chicken, and Brazilian sausage. Turn your card to red when you want a break. Then repeat. Make reservations now at texasdebrazil.com.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe Big Al is going to have Ryan Strunk, our Stage 2 winner, here up in the booth.
Hey, Ron, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's up, fellas?
Hey, man, congratulations to you making the big moves down there in Stage 2. Talk to us about it.
Just running me down and coming out of what 4 there, I just pushed high a little bit. I'm sure it made for some pretty good TV, but I wasn't trying to get into them there. It's just like it just pushed high, and I knew I needed those stage points. I'm only about 7 up from the cut line right now, so every point is just worth its weight in gold right now. So want to apologize to Abner. Hopefully we can have a good stage 3 and get her done.
Yeah, I don't think it was no harm, no foul, man. It was like you said, it was just good, solid racing, and you went out there to the Stage 2 and you dominated the stage. So if that was your intention, congratulations on that, man. How's that hot rod feeling for the long run? What you got coming up here right now?
I mean, it felt like it was falling off there a little bit. As you guys can imagine, I was just waiting for this thing to fall off the cliff, because how many times have I been leading and the tires just give up because I just use them up. So
Hey, look, if you watch the broadcast over, that's exactly what we were talking about, and I believe I was leading the train.
oh yeah, so like I'm just gonna try to take it easy on them here at the beginning, and hopefully we can just stay in contention through this green flag pit cycle if we got one.
All right, man. Well, congratulations to you for your Stage 2 victory. I know you got to go back to work here. Who's you going to give a mini shout-out to? Because I expect a big one from you at the end of this thing.
Yeah, I gotta have a shout out for to you guys, because I'm sure this broadcast is gonna be pretty awesome to watch, and gotta thank my sponsor this week, Kathy Maloney at Guaranteed Rate.
All right, bud. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll see you at the end.
Yes, sir.
That was Ryan Strunk, our Stage 2 winner. Green flag soon to be back out in the air here, as Abner Acosta going to lead us there. And I'm thinking it's going to be the same picture again here. I think Abner going to be holding back a little bit. Look at that. Jose Acosta pushing to 77. As the 28 trying to sneak in.
Jose was trying to get enough that he could get through the 28. I don't know. The 28
problems. The 42 saves it.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think the 28 was going to let him in. You know, it's one of those zipper merges there in traffic. Yeah, he was not getting in, and he is still battling. That's going to put him all the way back, though. But if Jose can just relax, he'll be okay.
He almost got into Chris Johnson there. That was a close situation there for sure, but he has lost a tremendous amount of positions, finds himself all the way back, I do believe, in 12th now, under fire from Chris Severa.
Everything's okay, man. Every little thing is going to be okay. We got a lot of racing left to go. This is a very long stage. So if I got his ear, I'm sitting there saying, hey, bud, just shake it off, fall back, get your groove back. Don't worry about it, because this right now is going to be where drivers are going to have to keep their head in the game.
Yeah, surprised we've already spread out as much as we have here. I think that maybe it is a little bit of a difference in the mindsets for these drivers, you know, knowing that, hey, I have to go longer than I probably ever have, and, you know got to be careful. Save that tires. We see Chris Johnson, I do believe, trying to go underneath the 2 of Steven Piera.
And I think Strunk said it best. I mean, he said, you know, he was just waiting on it to fall off a cliff. So in this stage, you know, you kind of go into it with the mentality, if you haven't made any major adjustments, you're going to have to adjust the way you grip the wheel. Because if you just go in there and you're just burning that right rear off of this thing, you know, you're probably going to find yourself in a bad spot or that right front, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of strategy, but it worked. And that's what really matters. I mean, it got him a Stage 2 win, so whatever he did it right.
You know, I think he just had to get as big of a lead as he could and try to hold it up as Don Avery now goes on to the inside.
Yeah, Kendall LeBron losing that spot. I don't believe Kendall's going to be done here, though. I think maybe could be some of these guys are making that conscious effort. Save that tire. Don't, you know, if somebody wants to pass you and they're faster than you at that point, let them go. Because there's no point in battling that guy, because it's just going to hurt you later.
I mean, you got to treat these hot rods like thoroughbreds at this point in the game. You know, if you get out there and whip the crap out of it here in the first part of the stage, it's going to buck you off in the latter part. So you got to go into this with an easy hand and throttle management. Just kind of play it smart. Take your time. You got to run a tank of gas out of this thing or close to it there if you're going to be in a position to be able to be lined up to win this thing at the end. You just don't want to be the cause of the caution.
You definitely don't. The 2, though, Stephen Piero starting to fall off quite heavily here. I'm wondering if maybe he's saving, but you see the 36 of Gary Adamson starting to put some pressure on him. That is 9th and 10th.
Yeah,
Abner Acosta has let Strunk go, yeah.
Yeah, Strunk's back out front running hard again. So, he needed those stage points. There's no stage points at this one. You got to be around at the end for this one if you're going to get a biscuit.
Some battling going on right now is John Mullins trying to get around Thomas O'Hara. He was another one that was really good on the short run, burning his equipment up a little bit too much, though. You can see lap time wise, Mullins showing some significant pace. And here comes Chris Johnson and Kenny Powell. They're showing up now.
Speaking of that, why don't we ride along with Kenny Powell there and see how things look from his perspective?
Got a nice cockpit camera here of Kenny Powell as he's riding right behind his teammate Chris Johnson. Man, there's just a lot going on in this view. A lot to keep track of.
That's an understatement. Looks like he's got himself in a little bit of a Ford sandwich.
He can't get by. That's his teammate right in front of him, but it looks like he might have an opportunity here as Chris Johnson goes high.
I just think they're all in traffic.
You can definitely tell, you mentioned it before, these guys have different braking points, different, lift points. And that's what causes the majority of accidents, I'd say, at this place.
Oh, yeah, especially as you get longer into the run. We got drivers trying to back up their turns a little bit. It does get a little bit sporty as John Mullins now running on the outside of Kendall LeBron. This battle is for 4th place. Looks like Mullins is going to be pulling around the high side. Don't think he's got enough to get it done as LeBron surges back. He's going to keep and maintain that 4th place position, but it ain't over yet, Brian.
Oh, no, not by a long shot. We know Mullins really good on the short run. I think it would be in Kendall's best interest just to be like, hey, go on ahead, bud. Here comes Kenny Powell. He's also going to try the top side to try to get around his teammate, Chris Johnson. Look at the run. Kenny Powell gets here, sails it into turn 3 and 4. I think he's got it. Look at that. Gets a little wiggle, though.
Just a little bit.
Kenny Powell, man on a mission right now.
Man, good to see Chris Johnson back out here, man. I tell you, seems like we ain't seen him in a month of Sundays, but he was just out there last Saturday night. Not with him right now on the Thursday night series, but yeah, definitely like to see him and Brother Johnson, Brian, on the scene, man. When we get the Acostas and the Johnsons there, we can be just that much closer to a thing down south Texas family reunion.
A Texas Roadhouse beatdown, probably more like.
We have to go to Texas de Brazil.
What a great race so far. I'm telling you, I've been very impressed with the 11 of Don Avery. He's running solid up in the top 3 right now. Right there, close to the back bumper of Abner Acosta. And he's been doing good all season. We've seen him with some bad luck, but I'm telling you, he has just turned that into diamonds. That's what pressure does to a person, Big Al. You've said it before. Pressure turns, it either breaks you or it turns you into diamonds.
Yeah, pressure does 2 things: it bursts pipes or builds diamonds.
Here comes Kenny Powell on the top.
Hey, Ben, are you watching my screen?
I guess I'm just looking at the same things you are.
Yeah.
As you see, I'm able to get the pass done.
And dragging the 48 of Chris D. Johnson along with him, but the 117 of Thomas O'Hara looks like he's going to fight back just a little bit. And that's going to put a little bit of a distance between the 48 and 24. But look for the 48 to be trying to complete that pass as well, as he is definitely turning some pretty consistent and fast lap times. Chris D. Johnson at 30.894 that last time. Thomas O'Hara was some 31.1129. So definitely Chris D. Johnson a little bit faster there. Just got to be patient in order to make some of these passes take place.
Also keep an eye on the leader here. Ryan Strunk has gotten caught by Abner Acosta. And also Kendall Levron now underneath the 11, trying to take away that position. And he slides up into third place.
Yeah, this isn't the time to fight right now. I mean, this is the time to kind of pace yourself, figure out where you're at in line, and then start figuring out what we're going to do for a pit strategy. Because it's going to get harder and harder to keep that driver in that car to that number, because as these tires wear out, I mean, these guys are going to get to be just a little bit more antsy. But this track's a lot cooler than it was on Thursday night. Is right now the ambient temperature is 71 degrees. That track temperature is 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the east at 10 miles an hour. So, you know, Brian, the track is definitely cool, and that's going to provide these drivers with a lot more grip, probably a lot more pleasurable handling conditions.
100%, and you know it is much different because I mean I think we saw like a 103 track temperature on Thursday, so big difference here. The wind is probably much it's kind of similar, but that temperature is huge. And guys that ran that Thursday race that are coming in here onto the Saturday race probably had to make some wholesale adjustments to their cars because it changes it quite a bit.
Yeah, and that wind is definitely it's blowing more to the west, so it's really not affecting the cars because it's not hitting them on the front stretch or the back stretch. It's, you know what I mean? So they're not getting buffeted, if you will. And the track itself is probably going to take a lot of the pressure off just with the direction that the wind's blowing.
And here comes Abner Acosta. He is right on the rear end of Ryan Strunk here. But it looks like Abner kind of slowing down, just willing to run behind this 77. Could that put him under fire from the 28? I do believe so. We've seen Kendall, you know, he started from the pole, has been running good all night long, and here comes Abner on the inside trying to make a pass for the lead.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see just what the 77 does and how far back. Oh, he does make contact with the 28 there. That's probably not what he was looking to do. It looks like Abner Acosta for the first time tonight is actually going to take, well, not the first time tonight, but actually he's going to regain the lead.
Whoa, really close racing between the 77 and the 28. See the 11 dives down to try to see if he can't get by this 77 who was struggling on the, worn tires here. Looking at his lap times, 31.5 last time by versus everybody else around him is much slower. Also, some really bad lap times coming out of Kenny Powell and John Mullins. Those guys back there, 31.8, so they are way off the pace right now.
Man, the two, they're four wide. It's just Kenny Powell. I don't know what's going on right here, but I'm going to tell you what, this is not the place to be on the racetrack right now. As Chris Severa is even going to make its way on the inside of the two, hopefully makes contact with the two. That's going to make the 62 squirrely on the ass end. Sorry about that, folks, but here comes the 64, John Mullins. He's going to be trying to get on the inside as well. Racing is definitely starting to pick up as Kenny Powell has his nose now tucked straight into the butt of the 42 of Jose Acosta. Man, Brian, what the heck just happened?
I have no clue. I mean, I was watching these leaders up here, went back there to Kenny Powell to see what was going on, and 4 wide. It was insanity. As racing is still commencing here, Stephen Piero trying to get around John Mullins. Looks like he was able to do so.
And kudos to Steven Vieiro because he is actually doing everything that he needs to do to be consistent and appreciated in this league. He hasn't taken any major chances. He hasn't pushed anybody when they did need to be pushed. He did get into a little bit with the 6-2 of Severa, but you know that's a different set of cards right there altogether. So yeah, definitely hats off to this guy coming in here to the league and doing as well as he's doing here tonight amongst these men, Brian.
Yeah, definitely not an easy task to come out here and drive as well as he is against the you know, level of skill that these guys always present. As we see the top four all right there within, I do believe, a second of each other.
Yeah, but they have definitely pulled out to a sizable lead over that second pack. That second pack being led by Jose Acosta, the other brother, Abner leading the lead group. But you see, there's some big names back there behind Jose. He's got Christopher, Kenny Powell, John Mullins, Chris D. Johnson. These guys all right there together in a group. It's just going to be interesting as we get closer and closer to these to this green flag pit window. Because on Thursday, we had already seen drivers pitted at this point. So now as these tires are going to start to scream, how many laps they got on these tires right now? The stand is what, 28? They got about 10 laps to go before they're going to be in the hurt locker.
Yeah, I mean, you know, of course, the fuel window is 49 laps. So, you know, these guys are going to want to try to stretch it until they get there. And like on Thursday, there wasn't a lot of wiggle room on that fuel strategy. You know, you had to really go at around the same time. Yeah,
absolutely. In order to make it, you know, that was the delta. In order to make it to the distance, you really kind of had to drive it out, you know, barn. And you don't know when the cautions are going to come. We did see somebody, I think it was John Mullins that short pitted, anticipating a late race caution. It came, but I think it was a little bit too late for his favor. But look at Abner Acosta. He has got a lead almost out to a second now.
Yeah, big battling going on for second place is Kendall LeBron trying to hold off Don Avery. Avery on the inside in the 11. It seems like Avery, you know, has more speed than the 28, but just not able to actually get that pass completed. Keeps sliding up a little bit, not able to get the momentum off of the corner that he needs, but I think he might have it going into turn one here.
And here comes the 77 Ryan Strunk. He's going to try to push it and do the same thing. Sliding up the track, he's going to push LeBron. LeBron goes up, gets into that loose stuff. Looks like he is going to be able to maintain the advantage there and secure third place.
And that was definitely a scary situation there for Kendall as the 77 definitely still has some remnants of some good speed out of that race car. But just not able to actually secure the pass. Looks like he's I'd say he's verging on tight.
Yeah, that's an understatement. But, you know, these tires are going to do different things, man. That's exactly what these guys have got to be prepared for because, I mean, you're running these. This is the first time they've been, you know, they're verging on that point now. This part, the last two stages, everybody was just waiting on the caution to come. This part now, you still got another at least, you know, 15 laps to run before you can even expect to get any retrieval. Ooh, the 28's coming down hard on the 77. These guys racing side by side there. Look at how much the 77 is actually loose there coming out of that turn there, Brian.
Yeah, definitely. And look at also the 117. Because these guys are battling so hard, the 117's catching these guys. It's going to complicate the situation quite a bit here. As, the Kendall LeBron touches gives a little bit of a kiss on that outside wall as Strunk desperate to try to take this position away. Not a whole lot of give and take going on right now between these two drivers.
Well, you definitely can tell they're not on each other's mailing card list.
Yeah, definitely not going to be inviting him to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the 28 now going to attempt a crossover. He is now going to come down on the inside. Kendall LeBron not wanting to yield the position to the 77 of Ryan Strunk. These two have been battling for third place here for the last 3 laps, and they are still in the thick of it, Brian. I don't think this is going to be over anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these guys might be first to the scene as a crash here when they're racing each other. I think contact is inevitable, it seems. Oh, there it is.
Yep, there it is. There it is again. I mean, they're door banging, but they're not doing each other any favors either, because these tires are still going to have to last a little bit longer than I think they're expecting. But maybe they're trying. Maybe they got scattered.
Woo, this is getting scary here. And I think that Thomas O'Hara, I bet the most nervous person right now has got to be Thomas O'Hara looking at this. And look at what this is allowed to do.
Let's look at it from his
Jose
view.
Acosta. Look at what this is allowed.
Let's ride with Thomas O'Hara on this, and let's see what he sees.
But look what this is allowed. Jose Acosta has caught these guys. Acosta was way back further than this.
But I'm going to guarantee you, Jose is not going to have the patience of O'Hara. But it looks like these two have finally kind of sorted themselves out. But here comes Jose. Now he's going to be battling with the 117. But I guarantee the 117 is going to be trying to make his car as wide as possible as well, because he's been waiting, lying in wait for these two to tire each other out so he could best them both.
Yeah, let them work themselves up. And then, just pick up the pieces, when the dust is settled. Here comes Acosta. This is going to be an interesting battle here. I don't think we've seen the last of contact here, as I do believe in the next 6 or 7 laps, the fuel window is going to be opening up.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are going to have... You're going to have to make it, in my opinion, you've got to make it at least 8 more laps.
Look at that. Thomas O'Hara able to make the pass there on Kendall LeBron, taking over 5th place. Now Jose Acosta side by side with 28. And guess who's looming back there? You see that familiar green car? It's Chris Severa.
Yeah, but these two got to deal with each other first, as the 42 is definitely trying to do everything he can to get around the 28. Now, you know that Kendall LeBron is definitely going to defend his position, as you saw him in the 77 of doing that, for the longest time. So now that the 42 is it's a relentless cycle, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been nonstop battling, I'd say, would be the best way to describe it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys have brought 10 laps there before they should actually be pitting there to make it right.
Yeah, now we are 40 laps into this stint, which means, I think you're pretty much right on the money there. As Chris Severa having to check up hard to avoid getting into the back of the 42.
Yeah, Alan Jackson really on right on the money.
Here comes Thomas O'Hara on the high side of the 77 of Ryan Strong. Side by side for 3rd place. This has allowed Don Avery to just drive away. Look at Avery go. He's about 1.8 seconds, 1.7 seconds back behind Abner.
And Abner's doing his thing, and what's awesome about this is every single car that's on the racetrack is on the same lap. So we have not even had a lap car right now, so that's just amazing. Here comes the 42 around the 28 of Kendall LeBron. These two are going to mix it up a little bit here, Brian, so this could get a little bit sporty.
Yeah, they've already been mixing it up. I mean, we've seen them guys side by side for the last few laps, but I think Jose just trying to get that momentum. He's going to slide right up in front of the 28. I'm wondering, I feel like the 28, when he was battling with Ryan Strunk as much as he was, that really just tore his tires apart.
Well, it tore both of their tires apart. I don't think they realized it at the time, but I'm like, you guys got to make a long run, as the 64 Mullins is now down on pit road. This isn't going to do him any favors, as he will not be able to make it to the end of this thing. The same thing happened on Thursday. Maybe he is just waiting on a caution to come out.
Yeah, we've seen the same thing for him before, so maybe just didn't learn the lesson, maybe the math. He's closer, I'd say. But it looks like the battling has calmed down. I think everybody's getting in preparation to get down pit road. It's not going to be long before we see the majority of these drivers take that trip down. 44 laps into this run right now.
I think I said this one time before, but these guys are definitely like Pavlov's dog. You know what I mean? They're starting to salivate at the thought of getting fresh tires. That's exactly what's happening.
100%. That's definitely what's going on right now. These guys wanting to get that fresh set of tires on there, get a re-roll, if you will, to try to see if they can, a fresh hand, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. A do-over.
Oh yeah, but a real do-over would be a caution. Of course, we don't want to say we don't want one of those to come out. Abner Acosta, though, now out to 2.6 seconds. I mean, he's looking almost just as good as when we saw him last week. I don't know, though. At Bristol, didn't he almost lap the entire field? I think at one point he did, didn't he?
I'm not going to bring up past wounds, man. We just got to let this one play out. But, yeah, he had a tremendous show. I mean, it was a shellacking, I believe they call it.
Yeah, he told every driver out here to go find a switch. He brought it back to him. I remember that's what my Meemaw used to do. She'd tell us to go get a switch.
We were 3 wide right there for 2 seconds between the 117, the 42, and the 77, which I think that means effectively that the 77 stars are gone. Now he is coming down pit road. So that we are in our green flag pit window. Kenny Powell also coming down pit road, as well as the 2 of, sorry, excuse me.
I say we got a new driver named
Piero. The 8 of Frank Flores also down pit road. So yeah, green flag pit stops completely underway. Here comes the 44 of Abner Acosta.
Also the 42 of Jose Acosta down pit road also. So brothers pitting on the same lap here.
Gary Adamson, Frank Flores.
Kenny Powell made up a lot of time on pit road on Ryan Strunk. Hopefully he's able to utilize that. Don Avery, though, last man to go down pit road. Looks like he's bringing it down now. From the lead here.
What?
Here comes Kendall Levron down pit road. So it looks like about everybody has pitted, except for, I do believe, maybe Chris Severa. Of course, and Thomas O'Hara. Abner Acosta going to be coming off of pit road right behind these guys, 1 lap down. 122 laps into this event. Here comes Thomas O'Hara. Chris Severa going to stay out 1 more lap, it does appear. I'd say he's going to be forced to pit next time by. Wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Yeah, he definitely is. I don't know if that was definitely what his intentions were, but, obviously you play the hand that you're dealt. So he's got to make it 1 more trip around this thing.
And before he does make that trip around this place, Abner Acosta unlaps himself. And I do believe Chris Severa probably going to be bringing her down this time. He tries to slow her down. Yep, he's coming down. Will he make it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It looks like he is going to be able to have a successful, at least getting it down to, to speed.
We'll call that a re-entry. And that's going to put Abner Acosta, he's going to be your leader here momentarily.
What a dominant showing here is now, I do believe, got a little bit under 45 laps to go right now.
And I think the thing about the takeaway from this is John Mullins he pitted before, so that just shows you how much of a lead that Abner does have.
Yeah, definitely a ton of speed. You see, Mullins is not, he's pretty far back there, probably about, I do believe, a couple seconds, maybe I think it's actually 7 seconds more like behind Abner. But yeah, it definitely shows how much speed Abner has had on the long run.
Now, we had a situation similar to this at a previous race, but I don't think that's going to play out the same way. I do believe that, well, it could. But barring some late race caution, I mean, Abner's just going to continue to run away with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it is a possibility that we could see a late race caution for sure. That could change literally everything. We've seen it before, and we probably will see it again.
Well, why would you say that?
I mean, you're the one that said caution. I mean, you brought it up.
Yeah, but I didn't say we were going to have. You just jinxed us.
I'm sorry, man. As we see Chris Severa catching up to the back end of Kendall LeBron. Thomas O'Hara right there behind him. There's still some battling going on. A lot of guys got split up a lot on pit road. Oh, Chris Severa tagging the outside wall. Not a huge hit there on the wall, though. And these cars are pretty tough. You just got to make sure you do not break that toe link. That is the thing you don't want to happen.
Amen to that. That's about 8 minutes there on pit road.
Don Avery has gotten around John Mullins, so he has now fought his way back up into second place. What a performance for this 11 car. I mean, I'd say in a lot of ways, this is almost like a win for him.
Yeah, but we still got a long way to go here, Brian.
100%. I'm just judging off of that last run he had, barring any, if nothing happens that makes that, that caution come out, or, if he doesn't have a, accident maybe with lap traffic, I think Avery, he's a solid bet for second place right now.
We still got a lot of racing left, Brian.
That we do. I mean, I'm allowed to, I'm allowed to think.
That's you're propagating.
Propagating. Well, that's a new one.
I don't even think it's a word.
I would assume you combined profit with something. Ryan Strunk has gotten by John Mullins, takes over third place here. Of course, not far back, though, from these two drivers is Jose Acosta, sitting fifth place right now. Paul Olson is our only driver that is lamped down right now, but soon someone will be joining him, Frank Flores. What's really interesting about this, Abner not really showing a whole lot of speed right now. I'm wondering if that's on purpose, because you could see that Don Avery's starting to catch him.
Yeah, definitely. That would seem to be the case, but I think Abner's just kind of just taking it easy. As Chris Severa makes it around the 28 of Kendall LeBron, that's going to put Severa back up into seventh place.
Also, Jose Acosta just got around John Mullins, taking over fourth place.
So let's have a quick conversation here. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to still call the race, but have you ever seen a time where Chris Severa was in seventh place?
I mean, only whenever he's made huge mistakes when he spins himself out or something like that. But no, I mean, right now he just is not having the best night. I mean, it just seems like. I mean, I think there's been some things that have happened on the track. We saw that 4Y condition earlier. Things like that slow you down and make it to where you're not. It's harder to catch up. But I mean, look at Severa though. He is running down Kenny Powell.
Yeah, and he definitely has the fastest lap on the track right now. You know what I mean? He is turning some blistering lap times. I was just saying, it's just odd to see Severa that far back in the pack. But here he comes. He is now making the move on the inside of Kenny Powell.
Yeah, it makes that pass look pretty easy there. As Kenny Powell looks like maybe a little off the pace here.
No, just Chris Severa is 0.4 of a second faster than everybody on the racetrack right now, except for Jose Acosta. Those two are pretty much right around the same time, but everybody else, a little bit slower.
No, I think you're hitting the nail right on the head here. I mean, Jose Acosta hitting a 30.498. Chris Severa 30.452, and that is, 2/10 or more faster than the rest of the field here.
Ooh, Severa just run into a whole big old wall of air there, and that really slowed him down.
Big battle here for third place. Jose Acosta, who we were just talking about, now on the inside of the 77. It looks like he's going to make that pass happen.
Also, Kendall LeBron goes about a 24. Kendall Powell. That battle was for 7th place.
And it looks like I do believe we're going to have 30 laps to go next time by. And you see Thomas O'Hara also tracking down that 24. What's weird about this is Kenny pitted around the same time as most of these guys did. I mean, he pitted right with, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Strunk, I think. Was pretty close to the back end of that 77, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the issues that were kind of plaguing him early maybe made an adjustment and having some issues because of it.
I don't know, but he's got the 117 and Thomas O'Hara on the inside. He is now trying to relieve Kenny Powell of P8, and that definitely does look like that's going to happen here. Powell way high on the racetrack, up into those marbles there, not sure. I think he was just relinquishing that position, but it's never good when you're that high up.
I don't know if he's relinquishing a position. He looked like he was maybe trying to build a run there as he died. I think he just has to let him go, though. Definitely didn't lose a whole lot of time going up there. I was surprised to see that. As Chris Severa catches up to the 64 there of John Mullen. Of course, Chris Severa was one of the last guys to pit it. He waited a little bit longer than everybody else. But he's probably on the freshest tires. And even though it might just be a lap or two, Big Al, that's still big.
Ooh, Thomas O'Hara gets into the 28 of Kendall LeBron. These two are battling side by side. This is going to be for 6th place. They're still door banging. O'Hara going to be down low.
Kendall LeBron trying to salvage here.
Yeah, but for how long? Because you've got the 64 Mullins and Powell going to be right behind him.
Yeah, that 117 Thomas O'Hara, we mentioned it before, top 5 car, I'd say. I mean, looks like he is trying to make good on that. As now he looks on the inside and trying to see what he can do here. Just not able to do it as Kendall has him pretty well covered. Don Avery, for a long time, was catching Abner Acosta. It started trending the opposite direction, though. Last time by, Don Avery hit a 31.083 versus Abner Acosta 30.982. I do believe he's actually the only driver still hitting sub-31s. That last time he did hit a 31.096. You definitely mentioned it earlier, kind of hit the nail on the head about, you know, the Acosta family. If they're watching right now, they got to be awful proud having 2 of their, family members in the top 3 right now.
And good on Jose. I mean, Jose is really, he's had his own demons. I mean, internal and external. He didn't get a lot of help, and he didn't help himself either. But, I mean, he has definitely been running really good here. And I think that has to do with the addition of his brother, in his ear, kind of coaching him up, because, man, Abner, he's just, he's a beast.
Very much so. Has been absolutely dominating the race so far.
I mean, he is, when I say beast, I don't mean like a monster. I mean, he is a consummate professional.
Definitely a lot of guys have gotten pretty spread out there. Not a lot of close racing on the racetrack right now. I believe the closest racing probably would be Kendall LeBron and Thomas O'Hara, but they are still about a second away from one another. See Chris Severa trying to catch up there to Ryan Strunk. Lap time wise, Chris Severa hit a 31.3 last time by. Strunk 31.7. So I do believe Severa is trending towards passing and taking that top 4 position. I think that's as far as it's going to go, though, because I think Jose is holding enough pace. I don't think Chris is going to be able to get to him. As we're verging on 20 laps to go, going to be 21 this time by.
Yeah, looks like Don Avery's going to be making his way around Frank Flores. Now Avery just some 1.3 seconds off of the leader's tail.
Yeah, what's really interesting, I was kind of noting on that just a moment ago about Abner being faster than Don Avery and trending towards that direction. It looks like it is once again flip-flopped as Don Avery turning faster laps than our leader. So could this be really changing things? I mean, could Don Avery come up here and steal one? Or I wouldn't even call it steal one. I think Don Avery earned it if he wins this race tonight.
We still got a lot of laps to go, Brian.
That we do. That 11 has definitely had a very impressive night. I think no one could take that away from him.
No, absolutely, you're right. And he is definitely due some good luck. Green flag racing continues here as we have 19 laps to go for those of you just joining us. Abner Acosta has really been out front here in stage 3, but however, the first 2 stages showed us 2 different winners, with Ryan Strunk and Kendall Lavon both adding notches in their belt. Kendall Lavon taking stage 1, Ryan Strunk taking stage 2.
And here comes Chris Severa onto the rear end of the 77. Going to be trying to take away that 4th place position. Looks like Severa's not going to have much competition here. See, round on the inside. Looks like he's got that pass completed as we're now 150 laps into this race.
I'm going to need for Chris Severa to just keep the hammer down here. At least, you know, if he gets up to P2, I'll be able to talk to him, right?
Well, you definitely would be able to. We'd have to see some major things go wrong, though, for the guys that are up there in front of him.
I mean, little faith. This is usually when the wheels fall off this thing. John Mullins.
You are right.
Yeah, John Mullins should be coming down pit road here anytime. He is not going to have enough petrol to make it to the end of this thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. You know, he's very long into this run right now, and we saw, you know, guys later towards the end of that run before we're having handling conditions and we're battling each other very hard. You know, this is that time for, like you said, for that to start to happen once again. But I just think everybody's so spread out. But, I mean, anything could happen here. Really, you don't want to bet against it. That's for sure.
Well, you had to be preparing for this moment. You know, there's got to be a moment. The 2 car coming down pit road, not sure what that's about. That's going to put him a lap down.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there with Steven Piero. Looks like maybe, I think he's got some right front damage. So maybe tagged the wall a little too hard there. Had to bring it on down pit road. Do you see any, maybe a meatball flag?
Nope, he has no flags. It's just an unscheduled pit stop.
And looks like we are now soon to have 12 laps to go when we cross the line next time by. This thing has flown right on by tonight. I'll tell you what, Big Al.
Well, this is going to mix things up quite a bit, Brian, because, I mean, the 2 cars are going to be coming out here, and he is literally going to be full of vinegar and fresh tires. So now the 36 also coming down pit road. We're seeing a lot of different strategies out here this evening.
I'm very surprised. I mean, maybe kind of in the same, you know, kind of situation that John Mullins is in. Maybe some of these guys that we didn't see pitted a little earlier.
Well, was watching their stints, and they were all within 5 of each other. Mullins is still only at 40 laps into his stint, so.
Yeah, I don't think he. Oh, Abner Acosta catches a little bit of the apron, slows down a little bit here. But he has been picking up the pace quite a bit. Look at that. I thought I saw some tire smoke there coming off pit road. Got me worried.
Here comes the 2 on the inside of the 77. And that's going to add a whole nother dimension here now, because now you got these guys out here on fresh tires, and they're going to be super fast. You got the guys that are going to be coming up on I mean, they're going to be old tires. And when you're on old tires, it takes a lot longer to get to where you're going to be, per se, than the guy that's on fresh tires. Fresh tires, he's almost on like laser-like precision.
Yeah, I think these guys that are on the older tires are just going to be letting them go. I mean, there's no point in racing them. Just let them go.
Well, yeah, you just hope that they're patient enough to get through. As Chris Rivera now gets very loose coming up onto the 8 of Frank Flores. Flores, he's a lap down. So that just shows, I'm just saying, like right now you've got multi-dimensional racing, and I think that's just those are all the great ingredients for the perfect storm.
Very much so. We have now less than 10 laps to go, and Don Avery, last time by, was almost a 10th faster than Abner Acosta. This race is definitely a lot of gray area. No black and white here.
As Avery now gets passed by 36, Gary Adamson, who's on pretty much fresh tires. He'll be running down the leader as the 77 passes Frank Flores, who is still being shown 1 lap down.
Imagine this, though, Big Al. Abner Acosta, if he wins this race, that's 2 for 2. We don't see that a lot in ISCA.
Oh, yeah, you do. Those are Clayton numbers.
No, I'm just saying that he has a 100% win rate if he wins this race. Like, we don't see that. Clayton don't have that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, 2 for 2. You forgot I'm from the northern state.
He ain't got 2 fingers on his hands to count. I'm right there with you, man. I can't count any. I can only count to 20 because I only got 10 toes and 10 fingers.
Yeah, see, I'm from the good old North State, as John Mullins now finds himself down pit road.
Yeah, I think Mullins went about as far as he could. I think he was hoping for a caution, and just unfortunately just never came. That's going to give positions to Frank Flores.
There's still a lot of things going on there as we're 7 to go. I don't think the 11, I don't know. Do you think the 11 is going to catch the 44?
I don't think so. I mean, look, he was trending that way, but I think he's starting to hit that tire life. I talk about it all the time, and I know you get on me about it, but I mean, that carrot on a stick, or should we say meat on a stick, considering we're Texas Day, Brazil. You know, Don Avery was chasing that. He saw hope. He saw light at the end of the tunnel. He saw a win. And that would make you drive it a little harder than maybe you should, wouldn't you say?
Well, and plus, you know, he's chasing some serious points, man. I mean, right now, he definitely wants to win as well, right?
100%. I mean, he's wanting to get that victory.
That's a tremendous performance, especially where he was at on Thursday night. It's 5 laps to go here. If he can actually hold this thing together, I mean, he is definitely going to have himself a big old payday.
Old plate of biscuits.
That's what we're risking for the biscuits. Rolling in the dough, baby.
See that too, Stephen Piero able to get around the 11. But he does find himself 2 laps down in last.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to his performance. He was actually running up there with the lead dogs for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just kind of was not.
There is a possibility of a change in position here. Thomas O'Hara is running down the 77 of Ryan Strunk here. Much faster is Thomas O'Hara, so I would not be surprised to see this pass take place. As we now have 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Chris Severa definitely trying to do everything he can to catch up to the 42 of Jose Acosta. Definitely going to be trying to rain on his parade and keep the Acosta brothers from finishing both on the podium. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it definitely would be. I just don't think Severa has enough time. But, I mean, looking at lap times, he's running a little over 2/10 faster. I think it might be possible here the 62 does catch that 42.
And if he does,
look at that. A little loose condition for the 62.
And if he does, you can guarantee you that's going to be where you want the camera strained.
That's where the battle's going to be. These guys are not going to be giving it to each other easy, that's for sure.
Well, they're going to be giving to each other. That's 2 laps to go here in this thing. One of the greatest shootouts we've seen here thus far tonight. Man, This has been a race, and it's just kind of flown by, hasn't it, Brian?
It very much has, as we see the 62 trying desperately to catch up to the 42. One thing we haven't talked about tonight that we talked a whole lot about on Thursday was the closer you get to that guy in front of you, less downforce and less draft, or less, I should say, clean air you have. So that 62 is definitely going to be finding himself struggling here to catch up to the 42. I think Jose outlasted Chris Severa here. White flag is out.
Jose definitely got to be feeling strong about his performance here this evening, too, man.
And here we go. Last couple corners, we see the 44 exiting turn 4, and he's going to cross the line as your winner 2 weeks in a row, Abner Acosta. Wow, great job for him. Second place is going to be Don Avery. Third place, Jose Acosta. Fourth place, Chris Severa. Fifth place, Thomas O'Hara. Sixth place, Ryan Strunk. Seventh place, Kendall LeVron. Eighth place, Kenny Powell. Ninth place, Chris Johnson. 10th place, Gary Adamson.
That's going to put Frank Flores in 11th with Paul Olsen coming in 12th. Steve Piero 13th, and John Mullins rounds out this 14-car field. With that in the books, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief step away, and we'll be back with our post-race show.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens,
these guys need
or this happens, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMERS to switch your auto policy, and you could save an average of $470. Get a quote today.
Jose, we're on commercial break. We'll be right back, and you're the first up. Hey, congratulations, man. Good run.
Thanks, man. I ran out of gas right there at the finish line, and Chris thought that I turned.
Experience traditional Brazilian cuisine, served with the hospitality that Texas is famous for. Here at Texas de Brazil, you simply turn your card to green, and expert carvers serve you fine cuts of beef, lamb, pork, chicken, and Brazilian sausage. Turn your card to red when you want a break. Then repeat. Make reservations now at texasdebrazil.com.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We just heard the beautiful stylings there of Jose Acosta after our commercial ended. We're glad to have him up here in the booth, our third place finisher. What a close battle. I mean, Chris Severa was starting to catch you there, man. Were you getting a little worried?
Oh, definitely I was. I was trying to save, man, and obviously he pitted later than me, so he had 1 lap more than me, or less than me the entire, right? So he was catching me. And I don't know where my fuel calculator started telling me that I was not gonna make it. So he caught up to me even faster. And I was like, oh man, this is it. And right there, exiting turn 4, I ran out of gas. I was trying to get out of his way. My car started wiggling. I'm like, oh no. And then I guess he thought I was gonna stay high, but my car started wiggling a little bit, and I went low, and then he also went low, and that's when we made contact.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize we actually didn't see that on the broadcast. We were watching your brother cross the start finish line for the victory, but glad that you're able to keep that third place. I'm sure the Acosta family probably pretty happy to see both of you guys up in the top three. I mean, how does that feel?
Feels good, definitely. I mean, I like that my brother's here because now the challenge will be my brother. Right? I mean, yeah, we brothers, but we like racing too. Um, so that's good that he's here because I learned a little bit more on my racing style and stuff like that. So that's good. Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, that definitely does have to push you, a little bit to. I know you've already been well challenged by the guys that are already here, but I mean, having him come in here and also have a 100% win rating right now, 2 out of 2. I mean, that's just crazy to see that. I mean, I think you even had something similar when you kind of showed up, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I won, and then I had like a top three, and then I won again, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think he did it better than me now.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that you're proud of him, even though it's probably a little bit bittersweet. But you still came out here, you represented, you had yourself a third place finish, and you were strong all day long. I mean, what were some of the problem spots on this track though that really kind of threw you a curveball?
I mean, I think turn 3 and 4 kind of a little bit sketchy. I think right for me, you could save a little bit tire there too. So that's a little bit sketchy to me, a little bit because you could lose it coming off turn 4 easily too. So um, and then another problem that we had, I guess, I don't know what lap it was, 28. I don't know, ran back in the back of me, and I dropped down all the way back. So right there, I had to save tire. I knew I had to save tire at that point. Uh, I was mad when it happened, so I'm like, no, I'm not gonna save tire. I'm just gonna pass everybody. So I was like, nah, let me just control my emotions a little bit and just go through traffic, and that's exactly what I did, man. So that was another issue that we ran tonight.
A little bit of a different Jose Acosta than we usually see. Calm and collected, calming himself down. Isn't that something? I mean, great job to you, man. You definitely have, turned it all around. You got yourself back up into the podium. I mean, you're probably going to be able to see you get back to victory lane, for sure, man. Definitely got to be feeling confident, especially having your brother, Talladega. That's where it's going to matter that you guys are brothers. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I feel good. I remember back in Daytona. So I don't know. I'm excited for Talladega. Let's see. Let's see if we have a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully, there's no
No, no,
trouble.
no. Say
And,
it. Say
and
it, Jose.
yeah, I mean,
What are you saying?
I was gonna say a little bit of a show. That's all. And that's all what I'm hoping for. Clean race all the way to the end. Hopefully, there's no big wreck that take out the whole field, none of that. So, and basically learn from Daytona because I did make my first mistake there on the first yellow flag, a month ago in Daytona. So hopefully I'm not gonna make none of that.
Well, we definitely hope so. That you guys have a great, run. I mean, we want to see this, this continue. 2 for 2 for Abner for sure, man, and great job for you. A lot of momentum you're carrying into the next race. Who can we give a shout out after your third place finish?
I'm gonna give a big shout out to John Deere Pandareta Racing Team that they keep bringing brand new cars, every week now. So we feel good about that. And a big shout out to my mother. She's watching. Hey, what's up, mom? My brother, for that win again. I guess I gotta practice a lot more now. And then to the league and to you guys, man, for giving a good broadcast.
Well, we appreciate you, man. You guys always put on a great show that makes it pretty easy for us, man. Well, we'll see you next week at Talladega. Good luck to you.
All right.
Next up, we are going to have the 11. Don Avery did a fantastic job. Big Al standing by.
Hey, Don Avery, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations on that second place finish. It looks like you did everything that you had to do in order to bring that thing home. What were some of the keys in order for you to actually bring it home in P2 for the evening?
It's saving tire. You got to try not to run off your tires, especially like the first 15 laps. And everybody's racing tight. You don't want to slow down, but you can't go too hard either. So it's a challenge, especially when we all running in a row there.
Yeah, I know that you and your triad buddies, man, had definitely a strong setup there on Thursday. Did you make any adjustments to that, because you definitely had a lot better luck here tonight?
Yeah, I made a couple clicks in the garage before the race. But my set was going to come in later on with the temperatures dropping and everything, so I didn't want to do too much to it and have it be there at the end. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to show what the car could do Thursday night. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we did see you, and you did have a pretty strong car, just an unfortunate finish, but you were actually able to rectify that here this evening, man, and actually you're able to make it count. How much did you adjust the car from Thursday to today?
it was just a couple clicks on the offsets. Maybe might have done something with the weight, moving it back a little bit, but it wasn't much at all. It was 2 or 3 clicks. So.
All right, so next week we're going into Talladega. You got any predictions on what you can expect? What we can expect from you then?
You got any dice with you, Big Al?
Yeah, that's a negative. I don't have any dice. I got a Monopoly game. It might have dice in it.
Yeah, you know how it is there. It's if somebody gets out of shape a little bit, it can take out a lot of people. So it's always a gamble. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll drop back and just wait to get past the stages and then at the end go hard or something.
So let me ask you this. I know that you generally are a lone wolf here in this series, but Talladega is a track where you're really going to need a dancing partner. So I guess you'll be looking for somebody to kind of do business with. Is there anybody that you would speculate that you would not dance with?
No, if somebody's running good and holding their line and everything, I'll push just about anybody I can. So, but I got Thomas O'Hara in the series with me. He's my teammate.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I didn't see you guys in the same chat, so that's why I spaced that. But yeah, okay. So congratulations on your second place finish, man. Good on you. Who you shouting out tonight?
You guys up in the booth always, thank Kenny for putting all of it together. Triad Racing, Stint Analyzer, we use that a lot for practice and stuff. All the guys over at Triad, and hey, Big Al, can I get you to give a shout out to my wife Sherry?
Hey, Sherry. This is a shout out to you from Big Al. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, because we definitely enjoyed you guys giving us something to talk about, man. If it weren't for you guys down there doing what you do on the track, really, we'd be just sitting up here talking to each other.
Thanks, Big Al.
Hey, thank you, boss, and congratulations on that second place finish. And hey, hopefully we'll see you on the podium again next week.
We'll give it a try. Take care.
Alrighty, that was Don Avery, our second place finisher. Next up is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, 2 wins in a row, Abner Acosta. Goodness, man. We're going to have to put a limiter on your car, bud.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, it wasn't easy there at the end. Don was definitely catching me there, so I had to kind of push a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of saw that the way it was trending. It seemed like he was starting to catch you there. But it seemed like all race, your kind of main goal was to save. You even saw Ryan Strunk kind of, come up behind you, just let him go and just kind of chilled and set your own pace. I mean, how difficult was that to not fall to that temptation to go hard?
Oh yeah, that's super difficult, man. You just have to basically just stick with what you practice when you're saving tires, and even if you have people pass you, just try to let them by without them affecting your rhythm or anything like that. Like when Don was catching me, I could see that delta just keep getting. He was just getting closer, 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 and you just have to. Maybe when they get maybe between like a second or less, maybe you can try and maybe push and see what you got. But yeah, it's really difficult. But especially in this track, if you want to save those tires, you just got to stay consistent all the way through your stint.
Well, you led, I think, the most laps out of anybody here tonight. 81 laps on the night, and definitely still had a pretty good hot rod there at the end. I mean, Don Avery started slipping and sliding a little bit, probably falling victim to that carrot on the stick mentality trying to catch you. But, man, what a great job. I mean, I know for both of the stages, essentially, you were in contention for the stage wins. I mean, you had kind of separate incidents with Kendall LeVron and I do believe who was that, Ryan Strunk, where contact was kind of made. I know you got into the wall at least one point. What was the kind of, were you pushing hard right there to trying to get those stage wins?
Yeah, on the first stint, I thought that it was Kenny Powell. I can't remember. I thought he was faster than me the whole time, and all of a sudden I started catching him at the end. So I started to push just for the stage, just to see what the car would have, and it was definitely tight. On 3 and 4, I feel like that's where everybody was better than me. So I made like a few clicks after a couple of stages, and I don't even know if I actually even helped, maybe a tiny bit. But yeah, for the first stage, it was actually my fault coming to the finish there. I got tight on 3 and 4, and I went up, and I did hit Kenny a little bit. And yeah, that was my fault. And I think on the other one, it was the opposite. It was Strut. I think he kind of got tight and came up and hit me. So, just racing hard at the end there. I'm glad none of us got. And then, the last stint, I just, saved all the way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and just to hate to not to correct you or anything, but like Kendall, that was actually Kendall LeVron, I do believe that was in the first stage.
Oh yeah, it was Kendall. My bad.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that they're like Kenny's like I wasn't even up there, but great job to you, man. You did a fantastic job. One last question for you, about the race here tonight. Coming from predominantly running in the fixed. I mean, how has this transition been to go to open? I mean, it seems like it's been relatively smooth.
I don't. I'm not a big setup person, so like I could make a couple clicks here and there, but nothing too big. So I don't think we had like the best set tonight. I think it was just a tire saving probably that kind of saved us a little bit. But I basically had today 2 sets to test, and one of them was really loose, and this one was kind of perfect, but 3 and 4 was bad. So I essentially just go with what I feel like it was right. Now that I did the whole race, I think because of the tightness, I should have chosen the other set, but I just do, the regular stuff. Just look at the stint analyzer, see what kind of averages I'm getting and saving tire, and just go with it. Not like a super setup build or anything like that. So I know that's something that I need to get better on. So which is one of the reasons I kind of like came over just to kind of test things out. But yeah, definitely it was a tough competition there, and I'm sure everybody's running way different sets from what I saw. But yeah, my brother did well as well, so I'm thinking our set wasn't too bad, but I guess we did all right.
Well, you definitely did better than all right. You're able to bring home the win here in the Texas Day Brazil 250 here on Saturday, and that makes 2 for 2. I mean, you literally won your first race, and now you've won your second. Gonna be a little bit harder to win next week, Talladega. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be me and my brother working together. I don't know that we actually don't race together that often, which is why I'm also doing this as well. So we'll see how we work on each other's bumper, Talladega. So I have no information to go by. If I have to push him, I will. I would push him all the way. So we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, so definitely looking to work together for sure next week, man. Well, great job on your win. Congratulations, 100% win rating right now. Let's see if you can. How long you can keep it going? I'm curious if you can keep it going, man. Well, who can we get a shout out from after this big win tonight?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Bandereta Racing Team, my brother, and John Deere, and you guys for broadcasting the race, and ISCA for hosting the league. Thank you.
All righty. Well, thanks for your time, Abner. Definitely going to get used to talking to you. That's for sure. Thanks for your time, buddy. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you.
That was Abner Acosta, our winner here for tonight. And what a race it was. Had action pretty much from start to finish. Side-by-side action. We even saw some 4 wide tonight, Big Al. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy, Brian, and it was a tremendous performance. Once again, another great production here for the ISCA, man. And thanks for having me along, man. Thank also our sponsors there for the Texas de Brazil guys, as well as the Farmers guys. And thank you, the hostess with the mostest.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, hostess is definitely a big term. I appreciate at least that's an improvement from assistant, right?
Yeah, don't push it, man.
Don't push it. I mean, we're at No Limits, Texas. I'm gonna push it. Well, we appreciate everybody out there tuning in. What a great race here tonight. Make sure you tune in on Thursday as we tackle Talladega in the Thursday night series. That's going to be a good one. 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be going live green flag. Probably drop a little bit after 9:30. Also, make sure you tune in on Saturday, same time. And we'll be also running at Talladega with these same guys you watched here tonight. And with that, I do believe that draws us to the conclusion of tonight's festivities. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.